What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is STK Reaper, one of the founders of the STK Esports UFC 4 camps. And guys, today EA have put out a new update for UFC 5, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk about anything over until the new week, but guys, they put out an update. I got to talk about it. So in terms of gameplay, they said that the block breaking on the beta was way too strong. I would agree. I did play the beta. I would say about 2 punches and my block was gone. So what have EA done to fix that? They have now nerfed the stopping power of the block breaking in terms of the jab, and they have stopped that from 40% down to 30%, which means you will need to hit people earlier in order to stop them with your jab. Perfect. Love that. Emulates real life. Deadly. They have nerfed the speed of the advancing jab by a couple of frames, which means now if you're moving forward and you throw a jab, that's been nerfed a little bit, so you gotta be more careful with your jab. Also, they've nerfed the damage of the jab by 20%, so that is obviously a very, very big hit for the people that do like their block breaking. Now that your jab has been nerfed, it's normally the punch that would start off every single block breaking combination, so now you're gonna have to adapt and find another way to win. Moving on, guys, knee and elbows were too strong. I would agree. I was maybe throwing 3 elbows, connecting really well and getting a really severe cut on people. I got a lot of doctor stoppages, so they've nerfed that. That's fantastic. They said here that they have been heavily nerfed since the beta. The combos were slowed down elbow to elbow, and more so the ones that were mixed in with knee to elbow. So that's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love that. And that's going to make the game a little bit more easier to play for people now that they know they just can't get knee elbow spammed every time they go into ranked. And it's perfect. So happy days. Next, head movement consumes too much stamina. I would agree with that. When I was free flowing with my head movement, even with my block down, the stamina was non-existent. So they've said here that they've fixed that, and that they've also made the lunges less consumable to your stamina, which is perfect. If you like to use lunging strikes, or even if you just like to lunge out of the way, you're going to lose less stamina, but also remember to keep your block up so you don't pay the price of getting KO'd. Also, excessive tracking on strikes. They have fixed an issue that made strikes tracking more than they should be in certain circumstances, also known as the death kick. Obviously people know a lot about the death kick, the spinning wheel kick that will always find you no matter where you are in the cage. And it's just been fixed, so no more complaints there from me. Happy days. They've also fixed ground and pound reversals that were too easy. They've made notable changes to how stamina behave during the ground and pound attacks. Reversals will now be properly required to set up, such as the attacker throwing multiple punches and missing few to concede stamina advantage required for a big reversal. Perfect. So they have now slowed down the taking away of the stamina from the ground and pound. If you're punching someone in the face on a ground and pound, you're not going to lose as much stamina as you would by missing them. So that's absolutely perfect. Now, on the other side of this change, head movement from the submissive fighter will not consume as much stamina. So that's important to know as well, that the stamina that will be consumed for your defensive awareness on the ground and pound will not be as bad. So that's absolutely perfect. Also, too many knockdowns can happen. Fighter resilience and health events have been tuned, resulting in fewer instances of reported knockdowns before a knockout occurs. Perfect. So for those of you who don't know what that means, obviously you could get knocked down 20 times, you're not getting a knockout. That's not going to be the case anymore. If you're going to get knocked down, you might be only getting knocked down 3 or 4 times, depending on the severity of your health, stuff like that. You're not going to be getting away with as much, basically, is what they're saying there. And then they also said that they will continue to tune this variable and others that are related to the following post of the launch of the feedback. So obviously that means within the first week there's going to be a lot of different changes, so look for the really, really recent update on the week of release, because they're going to want to get it up to scratch. Also, doctor stoppages can now happen without the injury looking too severe. So basically in the closed beta, the doctor stoppages did trigger properly according to the amount of damage dealt, but the visuals didn't really look accurate. There wasn't enough swelling, the cut wasn't big enough, maybe the blood, there wasn't enough blood on the canvas, or there wasn't enough blood in the fighter's face. That's all changed. Right now, if you're getting a doctor stoppage, your eye is going to be swelled, looking like Cowboy Cerrone versus Tony Ferguson, or a really, really bad cut like the one that we seen someone had a really bad cut, like Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Now I know that wasn't exactly like a bad cut, but like in terms of what they're going for, the visual effects will be improved there. So absolutely well done. That's a big W for EA there. Next, the straight into the lead overhand combo is too fast. If we think back to Nate Diaz on UFC 3 beta with the 1-2s, that's essentially what every character had in the beta for UFC 5, was the straight overhand, and it was powerful. It's very, very powerful. I did use it quite a lot to get my knockdowns and rocks, so I can attest to that. And it also says here, in both the regular and slipping versions are fixed for launch. So straight away, boom, they fixed it. They've slowed it down. So happy days for that. That's going to make it a lot more difficult for people to get those easy rocks, and it might take some damage away, so that's good too. Also, I know a lot of people were complaining about the uppercut. The uppercut looked a bit kind of, you know, it just wasn't a boxer's uppercut. It wasn't a fighter's uppercut. Have no fear. They have fixed that. They said they addressed the uppercut animations. So by the time launch comes around, that should be fixed. Next, fighters get stuck when entering some submissions. I had this problem in the beta with the Darce. I could never get the submission finished because of that. But now they said that they have fixed that. And that will be fixed since the closed build. So that is absolutely perfect. Happy days. And then referee interruptions for doctor checks happening when the fighters are in the middle of the action. This has been fixed. There are edge cases of fighters advancing and striking right after the ref calls for a pause, but we have now fixed where the fighters are already close to the striking and the ref won't interrupt those scenarios. So essentially what I'm getting from that is, if you are in a striking exchange, it won't just stop. Like if you're in a striking exchange and you rock someone and then the doctor comes in and stops the fight, and then it's like, oh no, I'll check him over, he's fine, let it go again, then he's not rocked, you've just missed out. If you rock someone and you get into their face straight away, that doctor's not going to come in there and stop that fight. It's going to keep going there, so keep that in mind when you hurt someone. Next, stamina is too abundant, especially in the stand-up. And it says here, with the buffs to defense, it is easier to make opponents miss and drain more of their stamina. The increased defensive pace of the fight is also likely to open opportunities for more body shots, which will drain stamina as well. So obviously, with that being said, if someone's throwing a lot of punches, you're dodging, and then you're going back to the head and they're blocking, don't do that. Go to the body, hit the body, tittle the body, you know, that's what you want to do. That's how you get that stamina down. And with this, everything now, the stamina's got to come down. It's so important. So, next, presentation. Jittery arcade camera. The arcade camera is meant to move more quickly to prioritize staying perpendicular to the fighters and maintaining the directional inputs more consistent. Even so, there was camera issues that made some motions more jittery than they had been before. The camera has been improved since the beta build, so that means that when you get a takedown and the camera shows an overhead view of the fighters and you're not sure which way to deny or which way to, you know, go, that has now been fixed to where it's going to spin quickly and it's not going to be a problem for you to understand. Now, the lack of referee interaction. There's been an issue that it seems with improvement from the beta. We have several animations for the actual referee interactions and are still improving the logic that makes them trigger properly more frequently. We will keep working on them with physical interactions, especially heavier ones that can happen as frequently as they can. I would assume that means for referees stopping the fight. You know, we saw in the beta when you get the ending ground and pound elbow or the ending straight or the ending hook, the opponent kind of shells up and you just kind of hit them 2 or 3 extra times. The referee will come push you off, wave it off, it's done. It seems like they're trying to get more of a real life kind of sense for that. But guys, that is my breakdown. I know it was quick, we may have not covered everything, but we've covered enough for the situation at hand. UFC drops very, very soon. UFC 5 drops very, very soon in 6 days. We have covered everything that we need to cover. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you never ever miss an episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.